Okay, so I'll quickly go through with these ones. Let me first open it from the open with Microsoft Edge. Okay, so here we have the book. Now, okay. So anyway, the first lesson is quadratics, no? So we already know
Yeah.
about the quadratics because we had linear functions as well as we had quadratic functions as well. So for the linear functions, what we had was y is equals to mx plus c type of equations. We call them as linear ones. And for the quadratic ones now, y is equals to ax squared plus bx plus c type of equations, we call them as quadratics. Not only that, here earlier in our O levels also, we define a word called degree. So in linear equations, the degree is 1 or lesser than that. But for the quadratic ones, the degree should be 2 or 2 or greater than that. Okay.
Yeah.
That's how it is. So now what will happen for the, okay, so now what will happen for this? Now what will happen for this? Here solving quadratic equations by factorization. There are like multiple methods to find out the find out the x values. Anyway, the solving means we need to find the x value. So if I quickly go to the what we call the examples they have given, if we have like 2x squared plus 3x minus 5 is equals to 0 type of equation, then what we have to do? So
We have
what
to
are the steps?
factorize.
Yes, we need to factorize. So quickly here, if we factorize these ones, so we need to consider the left hand side here 2x squared plus 3x minus 5. First, we'll multiply these two coefficients, then we'll receive minus 10. If it's minus 10, then we have to check what are the combinations we can prepare. We can take it minus 10 as multiples, and also if we add those ones, we should get this plus 3 as well. For example, if it's minus 10 times plus 1, or else we have minus 2 times 5, or else yeah, minus 5 times plus 2, and also minus 1 times plus 10. These are the only 4 combinations we have now. Out of
Yeah.
these combinations, to get this plus 3, what we have to do? We have to use this minus 2 plus 5 as our correct method. So then we can have 2x squared minus 2x plus 5x minus 5 is equals to 0. Out of these ones, then we can take 2x out. If we take 2x out, then inside the bracket we have x minus 1.
Minus 1.
And if we take 5 plus 5 out, then again we can have x minus 1. And anyway, for the right hand side, we have 0. That means 2x plus 5 times x minus 1 is equals to 0. That's how it works. So that's the method we can use. So these ones.
Yeah.
Now you can do the worked examples also by yourself. I'm not explaining these ones. It's clear now. So if we
Yeah.
next part, okay, so for now here there's no any fractions. Okay, here there's no any fractions because they have given this as a proper equation or proper formula. But for
Yeah.
these kind of ones, what we have to do? Here
We
we
have
have
to
fraction. Yeah.
we have to rearrange the
Yes, we have to first rearrange it. What is the method to rearrange it? Actually, they have done is first they have like taken this 2x times x plus 3 as a common denominator, and then they have multiplied, they have done the cross multiplication. That's
yeah.
the method they have used here. So from that also, but my opinion is actually take this 1 to the left hand side and then get the 2x times x plus 3 as the common denominator. It's also another method. What we can do, we can take this 1 to the left hand side and then we can consider this 2x times x plus 3 completely as the common denominator. And then also
Yeah.
factorize the numerator and calculate the, get the solutions. That's what we can do. This
Yeah.
method also correct, but that one also correct. I preferred to use that one. Anyway, both are correct. Okay.
Okay.
So then, because why I'm saying like that, here by cross, you just learn this one as well. So here, once we cross multiply, the denominator get disappeared, no? But our
Yes.
solution should be actually x should not equals to minus 3. And also x should not equals to 0 as well. Because if x gets equals to 0 and if x gets equals to minus 3, what will happen? The denominator becomes 0. Because of
Yes.
that, these two solutions should not be there. Though we received kind of a set of solution, what we have to do, we need to remove these two as well. Actually, what we
Yeah.
have to do is that. So anyway, as for the, I think this is for the pure one. No? So because of that, they
Yes.
have just cross multiply and find out the solutions. That also done. Okay, for this kind of ones, now here what will happen? Again, it's a factorization is there. So what will happen here for the x squared plus 8?
We can directly take it to the other side and it will
Yes.
basically cancel off.
Yes, we can directly take into the other side. That means actually we are directly multiplying both sides by x squared plus 8. Because
Yeah.
this x squared plus 8 is always positive. That's why we just multiplied like that. Because here we have a squared term. No? Here we have a
Yes.
squared term means always this value for this x squared term should equals to 0 or else it should be positive. It's not be a negative value. Because of that, for that value, if we add again 8, again our final value will be 8. No, again our final
Yeah.
value is 8. The minimum value actually which can be taken for this entire x squared plus 8 is 8. That means always this denominator becomes positive. Because of that, anyway, we can multiply both left hand side and the right hand side by this x squared plus 8 and then we can factorize as we already did it and then find out the and then we can equalize that entire both factors to 0 and then find out the solutions. That's the method that we have. Okay. Now we have kind of a statement questions. So here they are not giving us the what we call proper equation. They are giving us the scenario or the context. We have to build up the equation as well. So for example, they have given a rectangle has sides of length x. So here the length is x and the other one is 6x minus 7. Now, those two are there and they have given us a value which they called as area. Area is equals to 90 square centimeters. Now, according to this given rectangle, we can build an expression for the area. Area means length into width. We can say like that. That means x times 6x minus 7 should equals to actually 90. That's what we have. Then we have a proper equation that is 6x squared minus 7x. This 90 we can take to the left hand side. That means minus 90. That is equals to 0. That is equals to 0. That means we can again factorize this one and find out the values for the x values. It's also clear, right? You can do these ones.
Yes.
Okay. So then explore 1.2. I'll skip this one as a homework. So you can try these ones. Otherwise, aparade vela. So this one also the exercise. We'll do that one also as a homework. If there's anything like hard or if the answers are pretty much not again doubtful again, then we can discuss.
Okay.
That's also done. Now for the completing squares. So for the completing squares, what we have to do? For the completing squares, let me save this one first. Adobe Acrobat. Why it's not coming? Okay, all files. Similar Acrobat. Replace it, yes. Says okay. So now for the completing squared method is this is another method which we can find out the values for x. So for example, for this completing squares, another method we can use for solving quadratic equation is completing squares. Completing squares is an example for this is like this. X plus 4 get complete squares and it can be x minus 2 get complete squares. For these kind of situations, for these type of expressions, we call them as completing squares. That means our x plus 4 should multiply it by from that x plus 4 itself. It's like the
Yeah.
same thing. So for these kind of situations, how we directly get that value, that is, let's assume we have x plus d squared without doing the expansion, we can get that expanded formula. How? First terms squared, that is x squared, and then we multiply these first and the second term, that is x into d, that is xd, and then it should again multiplied by 2. That means
Yes.
2xd. So the value will be plus, and then here d is there, d is squared. That's
Oh,
how we get that expression. Expanded, what we call the expanded expression. So if we have like negative or the subtraction in the middle, x minus d squared, then again we have anyway the first term squared, that is x squared. At last we have the second term squared, that is d squared. And here in the middle we have now a negative. So the sign of this x is anyway plus, no? There's
yeah.
nothing. So because of that, in the middle we have minus. That means x times d minus xd to the times 2. That means minus 2dx. And here the last term, it is always positive anyway because minus d into minus d, that is plus d square. That's how we receive this. Now, how
Okay.
we gonna, so these two are there. That's clear. Now, how we
Yeah.
gonna do the, how we gonna, if they gave us kind of like this, x squared plus 10x type of expression, now how we gonna make it as a complete square? That is, you can see the middle term has been the middle term has been doubled, no? So that means
Yeah.
we have to take 1 from this, that is x. Here we have plus 10x. That means we have to consider the half of it. එතකොට plus 5. And then we need to make it squares. Habai, you should remember that there's an additional term coming here. 5 squared, it was not
Yes.
there in our initial statement. Because of that, we need to subtract that as well. See, last term we
Oh,
need to subtract. That's what here we do. X plus 5 get complete squared minus 5 squared. Here for the 5 squared, that means it is 25. That's how it works. So if I go through with another example, let's assume we have a equation called equation with 3 terms. එතකොට x squared plus 8x minus 7 is there now. Now what we
yeah.
do, here we need to take 1x, x plus 8x, that means half of it. That means plus 8 ke half, again 4 complete square. But Minus 7 was already there, so I kept it as it is. Habai, there's an additional term coming that is plus 16. So what I have to do, I have to remove that plus 16 as well. That means actually here an additional term coming called 4 squared. So we need to remove that 4 squared as well. So the final answer is x plus 4k complete squared minus 23. That's how it is. Okay.
Okay.
Now, what do you think? What will happen if we have like a coefficient there for this x squared term? If we have a
Okay.
coefficient, then
We have the coefficient, so we'll like factorize it first.
yes. So what
Then,
we have to do, first we need to factorize it. That means actually we have to take it out. So it's got a 2x squared minus 12x plus 5 is there. Okay, so out of these two, I'll take this 2 out, or else you can take the 2 out from the complete statement as well. If we take this 2 out, that means x squared minus 6x. X squared minus 6x. I'll do, so they have taken 2 only from these two. No, I'll do it from the
yeah.
entire equation. So that method also you can use. So here if it's
Okay.
x squared minus 6x, then the 5 becomes plus 5 over 2. Now what will happen? This 2 will be there. So now I'm going to make it as a complete square. That means x minus 3k squared plus 5 over 2 is already there. Here we are getting an additional term called plus 9. We need to subtract that as well. So then 2 times, now I'm going to remove the bracket. 2 times x minus 3k squared plus 2 times 5 over 2 that is 5. 2 times minus 9 that is minus 18. That means the final answer is 2 times x minus 3k squared minus 13. That's how it is. It's easy
Okay.
because sometimes for some people they forgot to multiply. I can they forgot to multiply this 2 by this or එහෙම වෙනවා. Because of that, my suggestion is to take that 2 completely out. අර නැත්නම් තියෙන්නේ 2 only relates to first two terms නේ. එතකොට for the
Yes.
final one සමහරක් වෙලාවට at the end you will be like messed up සමහරක් වෙලාවට for some people, but if you have a clear idea, then that's fine. හරි.
Okay.
That's the proper method to do. Okay, then that's also done. No? Shall we do like a proper hard one? I mean, we'll do like one question, this worked example, because there you have a
Okay.
third forms as well. Just try example.
Okay. Okay, teacher.
Okay, that one also did. It's clear, right? So you have
Yeah.
to make it as a common denominator, and here they have multiply both sides by this common denominator, and then they have solved it. So that's it, and you can do the complete one. That is also homework. So then again, why it's always okay? Here the PDF is open. Oh, that's the case. Okay, now it should be saved like that. Yes. So that's also done. This also homework. Okay. Okay. Can you do one thing? Can you do these paper questions? I mean, question number 9, question number 10, and question number 11. Oh, no.
Now.
Yeah, out of those ones only, yeah, these ones paper questions, right? In Edexcel also, there they have marked it as EP, yala. That means exam paper or past papers, right?
These are problem solving questions, teacher. I read the
Ah,
instructions.
okay. Then no need means you can do those ones
Yeah. Okay.
by yourself. Okay. So then we'll move to the quadratic formula. Have you done the quadratic formula in further math? Addition?
Uh, yeah, we did, teacher.
Okay. So for the quadratic formula, na, if I go through with these ones quickly, so anyway, if we have an equation like this, ax squared plus bx plus c is equals to 0 now. Now, earlier we learned two methods. One is by completing squared methods also we can find out the value for x, and also what we can do by factorizing also we can we can do the final one. We can find out the values for x. So then
Yeah.
here, there's another method that is for the by using the quadratic formula. By using this quadratic formula, there's a method ax squared plus, if the equation is in this format, then the x value will be minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac should divided by 2a. So A, B, C is respective to these values. That's how it is. So whatever we receive, first what we have to do, we have to convert that equation for this format. And then we need to specify value A, value B, and value C. And then we can substitute these A, B, C values for this equation, quadratic formula equation, I mean this equation, and find out the value for x. So here, because we have a plus or minus, that means we are getting 2. For quadratic
Yeah.
equations, quadratic means x squared. No, x squared means we have to have two values, two solutions for this x. That's what
Oh,
we have. I don't think you will get these ones to like derive, right? Have they asked?
uh,
No, right?
no,
I don't.
teacher.
No, ඒක තමයි. So, okay. So, if I නිකන් roughly told you what you have to do, you have to make it as a complete square. Here you have to start with this. Because of A levels, we'll just go through with this one as well. Here we have ax squared plus bx plus c. No? Now what will happen?
Yeah.
We need to make this coefficient as 1. If we make this coefficient as 1, then it will become x squared plus b over a like this. And then you need to make it as a complete square. Rearrange the equation. Rearrange
Oh,
the equation. Then the left hand side you have the complete square. Or right hand side you have the leftovers. Or additional term එකක් add උනානේ. B
yeah.
squared minus 4a squared කියලා. Then we subtract that one. So that part and the c over a part coming to the right hand side. Then the c over a becomes negative. This minus term becomes plus. That's what we have.
Oh,
Okay, then here we have this. Now you can take the square root of both sides. Then the left hand side it will become x plus b over 2a. Because of the square root, they have plus or minus scalar values. They have two values. Then we can find out we can rearrange and we can rewrite the expression for x. X is equals to minus b over 2a plus or minus this. That's it. That's the
Oh,
proof for the derivation for this entire thing. Okay, then this one also you can do, no? You can do, okay, this one also you can do. Then we have solving simultaneous equations, one linear and one quadratic equations. Earlier, we had only one equation and also that one also quadratic equation. But now, from here onwards, but here what we have is we have two equations. One equation is a quadratic equation, the other equation is a linear equation. For example, they have given y is equals to x squared minus 4 and also y is equals to 2x minus 1. Those are the two equations. This one is a quadratic equation. This one is a linear equation. So we have like
yeah.
multiple methods to solve these stuffs. What we can do, first we can draw these two graphs together in a one Cartesian plane and find out what are the intersection points, because these intersection points give us the solutions. The x
Yeah.
coordinate of these intersection points provide or give us the solutions for these two, I mean the simultaneous equation solving problem. Now, what we have done here, what they have done was this. So, we know how to draw the y is equals to x squared minus 4. Then we draw the y is equals to 2x minus 3. Then we just find out what are the two intersection points. ඊට පස්සේ අපි බලනවා what are the two intersection points and then we read those values. So if we read those values, if we draw our graphs perfectly, we can read these x coordinates also from the graph itself perfectly. Then we'll receive minus 1 as well as 3 as the x values. So these are the two solutions for these two equations. That's a one method.
Oh,
And the other one is, yes, and the other method is we can solve these ones, I mean, arithmetically without any graphing calculators or without drawing these graphs also we can solve. What we can do, we can just equate these two, because here for the left hand side we have y is equals to x squared minus 4, and the second equation also again we have term y is equals to 2x minus 1. Now what will happen? Both are same, no? Because the left hand side
yeah.
is. So what we can do, we can equate these two. We can equate these two together and then we have this equation. Now this equation, we can again rearrange it. We can take all these terms to one side. Either it's left hand side or either it's right hand side. I prefer to keep always the x squared term as a positive one. එහෙම
Yeah.
තියාගත්තම negative value එක there's nothing to care much actually. ඒක නිසා what my suggestion is always keep this x squared term as positive. So then equate the rest to 0. I mean the complete, once you rearrange the entire equation, you can take all these ones to one side and then the other side it should be equals to 0. Correct? Now then
Oh,
after that we can factorize it and equate those two brackets separately to 0 and find out the value for x. That's the method we can use. Okay?
okay.
Then, mm, what are the new things here we have? Okay, okay. So, this part is important. This is a new addition. Let's assume we have an equation like this. Ax squared plus bxy plus cy squared plus dx plus ey plus f is equals to 0. Now, what do you think? is this a quadratic equation or what is your opinion?
Yeah, it is. I mean, there is an x squared term. It's not linear.
Yes, yes. So what we can say, but here we have a multiplication also. So xy term.
Yes.
So now, yeah, what we can say is in general an equation in x and y is called quadratic if it has the form of this one, where at least one of A, B, C is non-zero. So anyway, if the power will be 2 or greater than that, we can say it as a quadratic equation. Quadratic nang anyway, it would be x squared value. Otherwise, it is
Yeah.
like cubic now. So for all these ones, we called a common name for all these quadratics, cubes, and a ඔක්කොටම කියන common name එකක් තමයි polynomial. Under this polynomial, we have the quadratic equations. If it's quadratic nang anyway the degree would be 2. ඒක තමයි method එක. So for this xy එක combine වුණා වුණත් if the degree is 2 um, and ABC එකක් හරි non-zero නං then we can say it as a quadratic equation because මේ ඔක්කොම 0 වුණත් it has only the degree is 1. It has an equation with degree is equals to 1. එතකොට it's not become a quadratic. Hari, is it clear? Am I too fast or no, right?
No, teacher.
Okay.
No, it's fine.
So here for the worked examples, we'll do like one hard question and then move to the other part. Okay. Split 10 into 10. Okay. Mm, okay. Can you do like 13 and 14 questions only? I mean, the given
Okay.
example is there's nothing. Given example is there's nothing. No, they have directly give us that. You just do the 13th and 14th question, then we'll move to the next theory.
Okay.
මනීෂාගේ ඇයි සයින් කරන්න එනවා මම කොහොමද තාසට ඔහොම ඉන්න මම සයින් එකක් දාලා එන්නම් ඔහොම ඉන්නවා එන්න කන්න දෙන්නේ නැද්ද උදේ ටී එක ඉවරයි ආ ආ ආ අන්තිම පැය භාග මට කියන්න මම ඇවිල්ලා පොඩ වාඩි වෙලා ඉන්නේ මෙසේජ් එකක් දාන්න ඉතුරු වෙන්නේ හරි හරි මගෙන් හරි
Teacher, teacher, the 14th question, part A, what should I do there?
Split 10 into two parts so that the difference between the squares of the parts is 60. Split 10 into two parts. Okay. Split 10 into two parts so that the difference between the squares of the you need to like derive the what we call derive the equation as well. Split 10 into two parts. That means again x plus y should equals to 10. So 10 has been split into two parts so that the difference between the squares. So the difference between the squares means x squared minus y squared. No. Difference between the squares
Ah,
of the parts is equals to 60. Now,
Okay.
these are the two equations. Then you have to simultaneously solve these two equations.
Okay.
Yes, Mr. Sajiva, good morning.
Teacher.
Yes. Yes.
I did the part A, teacher. That's fine. Part B, I'm a bit confused since it's all.
Split n into two parts so that the difference between the squares of the parts so D, right? එතකොට කරන්න වෙන්නේ two parts split n into two okay, split n into two parts, no? Two parts so that the difference between the squares of the parts is D. That means here we can't have a proper value actually. Okay, we can't have a proper value. So now the same set of equations, you will x plus y is equals to 10 and x squared, sorry, now it's not 10, no, now it's n. Split n, okay, split n into, the two equations will be x plus y is equals to n. And the other one is x squared minus y squared is equals to d.
Yeah.
Then what you can do, you can solve these two with n and d and get the expressions for x and y. Otherwise, you can't have a proper value there. Yeah, value එකක් ගන්න බෑ because here all these terms are in like variables, no? So you can't have a proper value, but you can have a expression for that.
Okay. Okay, teacher. Done.
Okay, that is done. Now 1.5, here again the same thing, solving more complex quadratic equations. Okay, by looking at this, can you tell me what are the steps they have taken? There's no any new theories here, just the worked examples. For the first one,
First one, so we can either
now
factorize.
here what we have is x to the power of 4, no? That means we
Yeah.
have like 4 answers. Okay. So
Yeah.
anyway, there's no any proper method to find out x to the power of fourth equations. So what we have is for the quadratic equations. Because of that,
Yeah.
we can make a substitution y as x to the power of squared and then make this equation as a quadratic equation in
Okay.
y terms. So now earlier we had in x terms, now the equation is in y terms. So then once we rearranged and simplified it into the quadratic equation with y terms, ඊට පස්සේ we can factorize and find out the value for y. But it's not the proper answer. The proper answer should be what? The x values. එහෙනම් y was equals to x squared. No? That means x
Yeah.
squared here. Again, we have like two equations. One equation is x squared is equals to 1 over 4. The other one is x squared is equals to 9. So x is equals to plus or minus half. The other one is x is equals to plus or minus 3. See, now we have like
Yeah.
four answers, four proper answers.
Okay.
Or else you can use the factorized method as well. But there you should remember, since here we have x to the power of 4, again that means are factors. When you factorize it, it should be like x squared x squared. දෙපැත්තට කැඩෙනවානේ. See, මෙතනත් x
Yeah.
squared term එකක්, මෙතනත් x squared term එකක්. It should be like that. Okay, then you will receive like two answers. X squared is equals to 1 over 4 and x squared is equals to 9. The same set of things. Here also what we received. හැබැයි මෙතන දැන් now we receive it directly, no? Then we can like take the square root of both sides and consider plus or minus. Then you will receive the x values.
Yes.
Okay, that's how it is.
I think the substitution method is less confused.
Yes, yes. Substitution method is less confusions. ඒක ලේසි. Okay, that is it. What about the square root thing? Now in the middle we have a square root x. So
Um,
So again, what you can do, you can put a substitution. You can
yeah.
make a substitution. Here square root x is equals to y කියලා ගත්තොත්, then again if we squared both sides, x is equals to y squared. No? Then we
Yeah.
again rearrange it as y squared minus 4y minus 12 is equals to 0. But remember here you will get the answers. But remember here you will get the answers or the solutions for y values. Okay? Not for
Yeah.
x values. එතකොට once you receive the answers in y terms, ඊට පස්සේ y was equals to square root x, no? You have to
Yeah.
again substitute instead of y that square root x and then find out the value for x.
Okay.
Yes, solving means we need to find out the value for x. Okay. So now we have the powers, indices. What do you think? What about these type of ones?
Here also we can use substitution.
Yes, we can use a substitution again. So here, හැබැයි see 9 to the power of x. Okay. So now the x is in actually as a power.
We
So
can write that as 3 to the power 2x.
yes, 3 to the power 2x as well. Again, we can replace this whole thing with an what we call the substitution. එතකොට y is equals to 3 to the power of x. එතකොට මෙතන වෙනවා y is equals to 3 to the power of 2x, right? Because x
Yeah.
squared එකක් නෙවෙන්නේ i3 2 ගේ x වගේ එකක්. So 9 to the power of x means something like that. Then again, you can arrange it somewhat, some kind of this quadratic equation type and then find out the values for this quadratic one. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Can you do the last two questions? Question number 4 and question number 5 here. And the
Okay.
rest you can do at home. Yeah, those ones you can do at home.
Okay.
0.6, 1.7, and 1.8. Uh, Hiruki, give me like 1 minute. I'll quickly go to the washroom and come. You do the
Okay.
fourth and the fifth one.
Okay.
What happened?
Doing it.
Doing, okay.
Okay, teacher. Done.
Okay, that's done. Now, hmm, now what do we have? Um, okay, that is it. Any questions from that? No, right?
Teacher, it was fun.
It was fine. Okay. Now, if I quickly go through with these ones, um, okay. So for these ones, we did differentiations also, right? Did
Yeah.
we? Yeah. Okay. So here what will happen? Maximum and the minimum values of a quadratic equation. So normally you know if it's a line nung line. Now for these equations, if it's quadratic equations, we are having a parabola or something like it should be like U-shaped curve or a V-shaped curve. So that's how the graph looks like for these quadratic equations or quadratic functions. Now, what will happen for these ones? The general form, okay. So for this shape, we call it as parabola. No? Now, the
Yeah.
equation is so this one now. If you can remember, I think we did. If it's a minimum, so okay. So for the quadratic equation, we have a for the quadratic equation. For the quadratic equation, we have the equation like ax squared plus uh, bx plus c. Now, according to this x squared term, according to this x squared term, what we have is there's a connection in between the shape. I mean the whether this curve has a minimum or maximum කියන එක, there's a connection in between this coefficient of this x squared term. That is, if we have this coefficient of this x squared term as a positive value, then it would be a curve will be a minimum. Okay. Now,
Okay.
if it has a maximum value, that means if the curve is a V-shaped one, then we should have that a value as a negative value. That's how it is. Okay, here we have a positive value. Here we have a negative value. If the curve has a minimum, then the coefficient of the x squared term is positive. If the curve has a maximum value, then the a value should be a negative value. That's how it is. Now, for these ones, what we have is what we call vertex. Vertex means actually this point. The turning point, we called it as a vertex. Okay. So in this case of a parabola, we also call this point the vertex point. Whether it's a minimum or a maximum, that turning point, we called it as a vertex. How we gonna sketch this graph normally? How we gonna sketch this graph normally? First, we need to identify what would be the ideal shape, whether it's a U-shaped one, whether it's a V-shaped one. After that,
Yeah.
identify, do we have like x-intercepts or y-intercepts? That can be done if it's x-intercepts means anyway the roots of that equation. If it's y-intercepts none, what you have to do is you should make this x value as 0. Is it clear? And then
Yeah.
we need to find out the coordinates of the vertex. That means the turning point. To do that, we can either use the differentiation method, then we have dy over dx. Once we have this dy over dx, then we can equalize this into 0 and get the x, x coordinate of the turning point. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Can you remember those ones? Sure, right?
Yeah, I can teach it.
Okay. Then from these three, now we have like actually we have so here we will be having like we know the shape and we know the two axis points as well, and also we know the coordinate of the turning point as well. So altogether we have 3 points and we know the perfect shape as well. By using these ones, we can sketch our graph. Then, depending on all the context, we should show some or all of these. The skills you develop earlier in this chapter should enable you to draw a clear sketch graph for any quadratic function as well. That's what we have. Okay, by looking at this now, can you tell me how they have drawn this?
Yeah, so first we have to find the roots.
Yes,
Um, and then we can like find like get the differentiation to get the coordinates of the uh, stationary point.
yes,
And so here the coefficient of x is 1.
yes,
So therefore this is a uh, minimum point.
yes.
Yeah, so that's how we can do it.
Yeah, and then we can roughly draw the sketch. That's it,
Yeah.
right? Those are the few points. Okay. Then that's also fine. Then you can find out the symmetric line as well. Symmetric line goes through the vertex point as well. එතකොට minimum point and the maximum point also you know. And then, yeah, those ones you know. Yes. Can you find the quadratic parabola? Okay. Can, okay, we'll do like this. What do you think? Um, I feel, can you try these ones at home? Uh,
Okay, teacher.
okay, so I'll mark these ones at home. So I feel like now you have like up until how many exercises? F, no, A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, 6 exercises are there. So Thursday also, are we doing this one? Shall we do this one and shall we like first complete this P1 first in both sides? එහෙම කරමුද? What do you feel? Any suggestions or any methods?
Like, what if no, I don't feel like for mechanics and probability statistics we need much from PO.
Ah, okay. For the probability and
Oh,
statistics, right?
yeah,
And also,
and
it's also a
mechanics.
little bit hard. Not, I am not saying like little bit hard, but there
Yeah, yeah.
we have like multiple theories as well. Because I did another class for, I don't think it will happen for you. I did another class for another Muslim girl, Kenekut, but she was like, it's too much content no in that book. She was like
Uh-huh.
really, I felt like. For her, it's really hard. And අර
Uh,
proper knowledge එකක් නැති වුණාමත් it will be. එහෙනම් shall we do like shall we do stat and probability on Thursday? එතකොට I'll
yeah,
yeah. එහෙනම් I'll continue. I'll try to complete another 1 or 2 exercises so that you can do. There's no any hurry, but I'll
yes.
like do. I'm not doing questions, so that's why I'm thinking. Okay.
Yeah, anyway, teacher, the sooner we finish, the better it is.
Yeah, that's the case. Then we can focus on more past papers. So up,
Yeah, and further maths also.
yes. So up until this you can do. Now here, try these ones and then try these ones and then let me know. So here for the solving. ඉතින් මේ මම අහන්නේ අපේ participation දැන් sign කරලා දෙන්න දෙනා. අන්න බලන්න. ඕ තව ගෙට්ටු වෙලාවද මන්දා. සාරි හදලා තියෙන විදිහට. Hiroki, can you do one thing? Can you do the 11th and 12th questions? I'll put my sign and come quickly
Okay, teacher.
for a
Okay.
sem. Okay. Okay, so let me first explain the rest. 1.7 for the quadratic inequalities. Now, earlier we did the quadratic equations. No? So,
Yeah.
from 1.7 and onwards, we are going to talk about the inequalities. When it comes to inequalities, inequalities means these ones. Sorry, greater than, less than, greater than, no equal, less than, no equal. Those are that. So for these ones, what we have to do? Anyway, it's the same process what we applied for the equations as well. So here we have 2 times x plus 7 minus less than minus 4. Then what we have to do again? First, we need to remove the brackets and expand it. Then we have 2x plus 14 less than minus 4. Then what we can do? We can like make the subject as 2x. Okay. Then uh, uh, to get the value or the inequality solution for the x, what we have is 2x is less than minus 8. We have to divide both sides by 2. Okay, then we have the inequality or the solutions for this one. Solutions range actually. X is less than minus 9. That's what here we have. Inequalities
Yeah.
work like that. Now this symbol is less than. This one is greater than or equal to. Greater than or equal to කියලා කිව්වහම for that one if we have like equal mark there then that is x is less than or equal to 3. So the 3 also a solution. 3, 2, 1, 0, minus 1, minus 2, like that. So now here, x is less than minus 9 now. The answers, the range of the answers starting from minus 10, minus 11, minus 12, like that. Is it clear?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, that's how it is. So then, that's how it is. It's clear, right?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
clear.
So then we have the key points. If we multiply or divide both sides of an so now for these two, now here we multiplied it with the positive value. Then there's nothing there's no any changes in our what we call the equal what we call the inequalities. But what will happen if we multiply both sides or if we divide both sides by a negative value? What will happen? Then this inequality changes.
The sign should
The
like
sign
flip, right?
change. Yes, yes. So here if it's minus 2x greater than or equal to minus 6 now if we multiply the entire inequality by minus 2, sorry, divide the entire inequality by minus 2, then we have x is less than or equal to 3. That's how it is. Okay. So that's what here they have mentioned. Okay. Now we have the worked example. Here we have solved. Okay, so can you do like one worked example here? Solve 2x squared plus 3x less than or equal to 27.
Okay. Okay, teacher.
Okay, then that's also now. Then you can do the rest. Here, explore means it's kind of a little bit advanced one. Try these explore questions as well so that you can automatically do the rest as well. Now, then we have like, there's a method to identify the number of roots of a quadratic equation. It's basically about the discriminant. Discriminant we denote it as delta, and this discriminant means b squared minus 4ac value, the value of b squared minus 4ac. Now, what does that mean? So, if the discriminant value is less than 0, that means that equation doesn't have any real roots. Equation has no real roots. That means this method. Inside the discriminant, actually, the discriminant b squared minus 4ac value is less than 0 means that is actually a negative value. So, now, if the discriminant value is equals to 0, that means it has two equal real roots. Two equal real roots, okay? Two equal real roots. That means 1, 1, 2, 2, like a complete squared bugging. So for those
Yeah.
ones coming under two equal real roots. And if the discriminant value is greater than 0, that means it has two distinct, two distinct real root. Two distinct real roots. That's what here we have. Those are the
Okay.
three separate sections, so three separate categories which we have. So the roots, anyway, we can calculate the root means the solutions for the x. No, that one we can use this quadratic equation, that is minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac should divided by 2a. And here we have the discriminant as well. Then if it's greater than 0, that means if it's greater than 0, that means it has two distinct real roots, the discriminant. If the discriminant value is equals to 0 now, it has two equal real roots. And if it's less than 0 now, then it has no any real roots. That's the method or the criteria which we have. So the shapes, when it has like two distinct real roots, it can be either this side or this side. May side එක වෙන්නේ the coefficient of the x squared term is greater than 0 now. If the coefficient of the x squared term is less than 0 now, it would be like this. Then when x is equals to 0, it should touches the x-axis. Either again, it can be either this U-shape one and the V-shape one as well. If it's less than 0 now, if it's less than 0 now, that means there's no any real roots. No, that means it won't touch or it won't intersect this x-axis. ඒක නිකන් උඩ තියෙන්නේ. උඩ හරි යට හරි. දෙන්න වෙන වෙනම පැත්තෙන් තියෙන්නේ. That's how it is. Okay. So that is it. Now, okay. It's clear, right, for you?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. This one also you can do, I think so. And what about the rest intersection of a
Can we
Sorry?
finish the chapter today? I mean, how many parts?
Yeah, ඒක තමයි මාත් කල්පනා කරේ. So here we have another 1.8. Only one part. Yeah, only one. We'll do that one and then wind up. That's fine because we are done with the first one only.
Yeah.
So මේක නිකන් theory කරන්න it will take like less time, but once you do the questions only, you will figure out අර අන්තිමට තියෙන questions වගේ normally maybe sometimes those ones are a little bit hard, so you have to like pay your proper attention for those ones. Here, the last one,
Yeah.
1.9, intersection of a line and a quadratic curve. So here, the same thing what we call earlier as well. If now earlier we talk about the roots, no, but here we don't have something like roots. We are talking about the intersection of line and the curve. Intersection of the line and the curve also, there we have three types. One is if we have like intersections like this. මෙහෙම තිබ්බොත් we call it as two distinct points. Okay, two
Yeah.
distinct points. Line intersect the curve in two different places. There we have this. If it touches, what will happen? We have only one single point. But if there's no any points now, may then intersect when it they won't intersect as well as they won't touches as well. It will be like this.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, now I know. Huh. So it will tell me another session. Yeah. So it will be like this. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Okay, then what will happen again for these ones? If it's greater than 0, now we have two distinct real roots. If it's equals to 0, now we have only equal roots. That means two roots. And if it's less than 0, now that means no any real roots.
So this is basically what we just discussed, right?
Yes. No. It a little bit different because earlier about the roots, මෙතන roots කියලා කියන්නේ for the line and the curve.
Yeah.
Earlier
Okay.
ගත්තාම it was line නම් line එකේ roots and for the equation quadratic equation නම් that one's root. But
Ah.
here it is about the intersection. අර ඒගොල්ලෝ මෙතන දුන්නේ line and the curve කියලා නිකන් මේ graphically කරන්න. අන්න ඒක කොහොමද කියන්නේ?
Yeah.
That's then can you complete the lesson then? Then we'll do the stat part on Thursday. That's fine.
Okay.
If you have any questions while you are doing, just text me. I mean, keep a text on WhatsApp so that I can like give you a proper voice cut or something. Otherwise, then bang lesson එකක් මේ ඉවර කරානේ. So it's easy
Yeah.
for you. Otherwise, ඔයා නිකන් හිර වෙලා නැවති. Okay?
Okay, teacher.
Okay, then see you on Thursday. Bye.
Okay, thank you, teacher. Bye. Have a
No
nice
problem. Bye.